Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
Getting masked up to drop another verse. Hitching up the plow, locking in another purse. The mic pump with your confessions in the mix. Broadcasted by a lawyer way too busy turning tricks. Introducing the ecosystem's newest hires. Setting any legitimacy on fire. A drum roll for a creeper and a con. Attention journalists is my settlement offer on. Pushing motions hoping for a new delay. Knowing discovery is doing what, 14 days? Phone records, every number, man, that filing was a wreck. As the ecosystem brags about their brand new tech. It all so shifty, but that's about the score. And protective orders, aren't you violating it some more? Here's another reminder, the ecosystem you created keeps fundraising. An ex-convict, an ex-con convicted of fraud and extortion. One that makes threats while spouting off every approved talking point and ignoring any proof of wrongdoing. And how do I know? No, they'll let proof owe their rent to own partner, which hilariously got ignored. And the line saying I should be sleeping with a gat. Please. Feeling like the sun warring with a swarm of gnats. More ankle biters trying to stop this platinum flow. When the truth is, well, you know, we know, no. Fun times, these really are fun times indeed.
These really are fun times indeed. What's up, folks? How's it going today? Man, we are kicking into the weekend where the craziness, it never ever ends. It is amazing, amazing to see. I tell you, man, these folks, they don't stop. I got something for you today too. I got a crazy one for you. Plus, well, we're going to show some other crazy stuff that's happening as well. It's wild. I mean, I can't believe they would I can believe they would harass someone like a Randy, but to brag about it, like that's pretty messed up, you know, to tell the whole world, yes, they're doing it. Of course they're doing it. To mail it to everybody. It's kind of like they just don't care. They don't care if everybody knows and everybody catches them because of course the world knows. Man, though, hope it's going good, by the way. Hope all of you are doing great. Man, I want to tell you something before we get into today, too. So this weekend, I decided I would go over and I would check out Big Lots. Now, you know the store Big Lots. You know, been around a long time. Well, they're going under. I don't know if you know that or not, but they are absolutely going under. And I've only seen a few stores truly go under in my life. You know, like the whole corporate thing. They can't get any buyers or anything. And that's exactly what they're doing, to the point I went over there and I saw that they had, well, let me see if I can send this over to myself. It's weird when you go into a place and they don't just want to sell you items. They want to sell you every item. And when I say every item, I'm talking about things like buggies. You know, they're like, "Hey, you want to buy a buggy?" It's very strange to see. You know, most places they usually have some kind of setup where they can guarantee, you know, they're not gonna have to get rid of everything. But Big Lots right now, man, I was like, wow, they're selling their buggies for $35 a piece. You know, I should take a picture of them. It was so odd. Give me a second. Let me pull this out of my email. I just sent it over to myself. Like I said, I thought this was so bizarre to see. I took the kids over there. You know, they have quite a few. What the heck? Wow, that's crazy. Actually, somebody has sent over some stuff too. I just saw it come in. Somebody sent over some wild stuff as far as. Man, this stupid thing does not want to send this over. Don't you hate that, by the way, sometimes when you're sitting here and you're like, hey, what's going on, email? Maybe it'll come through in the next year or two. I swear to God, sometimes. Y'all want to see some harassment today first while I'm waiting to see if that'll actually come through? Because I swear it's slow. Yeah, I am sad too. I see Coyote Bait saying that they're sad that their Big Lots is going on. Me too. I mean, I live in a tiny town. So as far as this town is concerned, it's not like we have a lot of options, right? So to actually see that, it's just bizarre. They've been here like most of my life. Like that's the other thing too. They've been here most of my life. So do you want to see proof? Like undeniable proof that these people are harassing Randy Shuckett. Like I 100% sent by them to note where they are harassing Randy Shuckett. I mean, it is undeniable. Okay, so to explain what I'm going to show you here, let me pull this up. I got this in my email, and I thought this was rather strange. You know, give me a minute. I'm locking it in here. I thought it was rather strange because I didn't know what this was at first. It took me a minute to kind of piece together what I was being sent here because I thought this is weird, right? Okay, so you'll notice this is there's a few things that give this game away, and it tells you that they're lying to Randy. They're trying to harass him and more. Hey, what's up, John, man? I could cover Blake. Let's see. We bet you're becoming boring lately. You could cover Blake Lively or a number of subjects, but you persist on what the hell's. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Well, how long did I cover depth? 4 years. I could cover anything, but I covered this. You know. I mean, there's a lot of people that cover Blake Lively and stuff. You know. It doesn't interest me. I'll just be blunt about it. It doesn't interest me right now. It doesn't interest me. This interests me. You know, that's how I YouTube. This interests me. I'm not chasing headlines. I don't want to chase headlines. It's not fun. I did that for like a year and a half. I chased headlines and it wasn't fun. You know what it was? Every day you get up and you think, man, can I get there first? And you know, I learned this thing. I learned getting there first is not being right about it. You know, I see. I don't want to say the names of the people that cover on certain cases that I see, like Lively, for example. I don't want to use certain names. They all race each other to get there first, and they're like piranha. Now, there's some good people that do this too. You know, some good people that cover, but the game is really just trying to get there and to get there fast and first. Me, I find a case, I settle in if I enjoy it, and that's all I want to cover. So maybe it is boring, but you know, it's my boring. So I appreciate you too, John. You know, but that's just the way I look at it. It's just it has to interest me, and for a long time, I covered companies like Warner Brothers and stuff, but I don't care anymore. Like I just they wanted us not to participate in buying their products, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to buy your products then, so turn them off. And the lively stuff, the thing that really gets the giant hits is made up bullshit. I found that in every case. And for me, I don't want to make things up. They're crazy stuff. That's why with the Depp case, you had people that would score bigger numbers on coverage, especially in the trial, because they would just make up salacious nonsense. Me, I just want to settle in and cover something that I think is interesting, and I'll cover it until it comes up, maybe longer, depending on where it goes. And the thing I wonder too is, why doesn't Jeremy Hale's life register as much as a celebrity? Like nobody, like if I jumped into, say, Blake Lively and started covering it, I covered it every single day. Would people complain until trial? Usually not. And you know why? Because they're a celebrity. But Hale's should matter as much as a celebrity, especially when you look at the maligning nonsense that continues to pop up at his doorstep. We're talking like, what is it? 5 cases, promised more cases. Plus I keep up also because the weirdos here, they have employed some, I'm going to say, goons to harass lawyers. I've never seen a case like this. This case is wilder than any case where you have PR brought in and more. I've never seen a case like it, man. It's bizarre and it's crazy, but it is interesting. It has all of the part. I mean, I expect all of Chip's. I personally feel like sometimes when I'm watching the other lawyer on the other side, I feel like he has lost his absolute mind. Like he's just lost it. So, like for me, Blake who yeah. Actually, the one thing in the Blake Lively stuff that does interest me is the Ryan Reynolds connection. That does interest me, and the damage that Blake Lively has done to Ryan Reynolds. But the difference in like Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, it didn't interest me because it was a celebrity case. It interested me because it was a false accusation case, and the type during the middle of the Me Too movement. That's why it interested me more than anything. And this is false accusation cases. They're accusing this man of being the worst thing that you could be. Even prisoners would end you for it, But if it were a normal case, we would have been done. We actually were done for months. We covered the stuff that was going on with Laura Owens, and then, well, the Laura Owens stuff. It hit the Laura Owens stuff. It's interesting to a point, but I don't know. They're in appeals process. And I mean, I think I've said what I need to say on that case, but this one came up into federal court, and that's when it just went off the rails. When it was the protective order, that stuff settled up, it ended. It didn't end as in they could refile. But with that protective order where it was in Ohio, I felt like everything had been set on it at that point. Now, well, rather in Florida it ended, and then in Ohio it ended with a decision. And you'd have additions, so you might come back and say something on it, is what I mean. There might be a refiling in Florida, but there was a conclusion in Ohio. Sorry if I messed that up. I just took my new meds for the night. And sometimes word, I'm like, wait a minute, did I say that correctly? Nah, maybe not. But you know what I'm saying on that. But then when it got to the federal case, that's when it went haywire. And we have had, like in the last few days, we're talking about the last week, for example, we've had more filings. I would have to run a live stream every day to keep up with those. Let's see, where is the scheduler? Now, I haven't added 78 in here, but look at this. Like, this is how insane this case has gotten. All right. Typically, you could potentially cover something else. Here, I'll pull up the other stuff in just a minute, but check this out. So this is your filings, your docket number. So you have your docket text, you have your date filed, and you'll notice like it's following. You're having the thing papered to a point, but it's not to the level you're like, oh my God, this is nuts. Then it starts to get crazy. This year, it starts to go nuts. Like, look at how fast these filings are coming in. You have orders and filings. They're just piling in. And over the last few weeks, especially, it's been like, okay, 2-3, 2-4, 2-5. All right, let's see. 2-5, 2-8, 2-8, 2-9, 2-10, 2-11. You have, let's see, then you had 2-11. You had new ones pop up over, again, you had a new one, 78 just pop up. And between those, you also had emails that were sent out for settlement, for non-privileged settlement. It's just, like I said, it's off the rails, man. This one, I think every day is almost like a freaking holiday. So, you know, and if it's not your thing, that's cool too, man. I appreciate John. Like when I'm talking about that, I'm actually talking to John there, you know. Give John love too. John is a long time, he's been a long time subscriber, a long time supporter. Much love to him. It's just, I mean, that's the way I look at it. And I won't lie about it. You know, I don't want to chase numbers, you know. Maybe I'll get to there one day that I feel like it. But one of the things that bothers me with chasing headlines, especially, is that people get them way wrong. And with the Blake Lively stuff, a lot of times for them to fill in the blanks, they make up shit. They make up salacious stuff. And boy, they get the clicks on it. But it's not correct. And it's already insane and life ruinous enough. So, you know, but on this case is crazy because if somebody were to look at the deposition that had already passed for the protective order, if they were to look at that and to really go through it, I think they would be like, oh my God, this is insanity. Yeah. You know, I also, it really bothers me that these people have forced away almost everyone that has covered this case. They have bullied and harangued them, you know, to the point that, I mean, you have some bad actors involved. Like I said, Paint Chips is a terrible human being. You know, some of the stuff he has done is awful. A lot of people will not pick up and cover that. I have people write me where BBB is still, he's writing them every day and trying to get coverage. And you have stuff like this. So if you're looking at this today, what I got sent here, and by the way, thank you, John. I appreciate you. I like John too. Like, doesn't mince words. And, you know, we can have a conversation like this. I like that. But I appreciate John. And love to you, yours as well, man. Appreciate that too. Appreciate both of you. But I got this sent. Now, if you'll notice, this is with Michael Volpe. Michael Volpe, he mailed this out to he mailed it out to me and, you know, others. Now, what they're doing these days, and you notice BBB has picked up this habit too, is they're blank carbon copying who they send it to. But this gives away what's going on. So you'll notice what had happened if you look at the forwarded message. This was actually from Randy. I cut off everything but the R because his name, it notes an email address too. So I just cut it down to R. But it noted an event, a 15-minute meeting between attorneys only. Now that statement, along with the way you see it scheduled here, subject, now they canceled, but it was supposed to be a meeting with an attorney, Michael Volpe. And you'll see that it's here who, attorney Michael Volpe. So he's not an attorney, just to throw that out there too. He contacted Randy Shonkin, pretending to be an attorney. That's what it looks like. So he could try to bait Shockett into a meeting that Shockett would otherwise not have, wanting to talk to them about Randy Shockett's client, Jeremy Hales. Isn't that crazy? To pick up the phone first. I mean, you think about this, and again, we'll read over this and just say there's not a lot here, but it's a lot here when you think about what happened with this. To pick up the phone and to contact counsel, that by itself is one thing. Especially when we know, like I said, how have the bills been getting paid? Oh, you saw it. You saw who was promoting them. You've seen who was pushing their money. I mean, you've seen it. It's craziness. And then to go further, though, and to pretend that you are an attorney that's attached to this stuff. I mean, to me, that's wild, dude. That is absolutely wild. You can go in and feel good about, again, you see who it's addressed to. So this original message they contacted on Friday, February the 14th, 2025, 1:31 p.m. You have this to attorney. So again, there's the misleading attorney attached to it, Michael Volpe, and it's from Randy Shockett. It knows 15-minute meeting between attorneys only. It has a phone number for they could go in. Now, what's crazy about that too is they're sharing that information all over the ecosystem as well. Like, you really think about that as well. That to me, that's nuts too. Like, you're sharing his phone number, so you know that Randy is going to be harassed even more because of that. They're just mailing it out to random people. And I know this is, like I said, it's a random email that's come in because it got mailed to me too. They're just sending it out to whomever. It's a ha ha ha. Look what I did. Look what yeah, you harassed somebody. Congratulations there. And you did by lying. Now, it knows, what do you wish to discuss with the attorney? Well, it's calling to speak to attorney Randy Shockett in regards to a client, Jeremy Hales. Now, you know what happens there. You know how this gets set up. Typically, you'll either have somebody that answers or you'll have an answering service. You're not going to usually call in and get a hold of somebody right off the bat. I would bet dollars to donuts that when you call into Randy Shockett's office, you probably get some kind of a service, I mean, sometimes maybe you'll get through to an office answers, but he's probably in court quite a bit. That's usually how it goes. Sometimes you'll have enough office staff that someone will pick up, but a lot of times, again, they're not apprised of the situations that's going on. I'm sure that Randy, when he saw them and they had done this, they had lied their way into it, that he was like, I'm canceling this now. And you can see him again. He mails this thing out. He mails out when he had the scheduler there. He mailed it out himself to everyone else by forwarding it and being like, well, it's canceled. Oh, was it something I said? Uh-huh. Maybe he just doesn't like to hang out with scumbags. Maybe that's the problem too. Maybe it's not just the idea of attorney. Maybe he's heard about your little forays into into the subjects that you cover. Jumping between the sheets, as it were, on that. I mean, this guy here, man. This dude, he mails, like these people are so desperate. They hope to God they'll get their names out there, that they do awful shit. And sometimes they will get their name put on it. And I'm sure the ecosystem, the same people, like if you pulled this shit with a Bruce, or you say somebody did this, and again, do not do this, by the way. I'm going to PSA, do not do this. But could you imagine if somebody would have pulled this shit with Stark? If somebody would have called in pretending, like if I would have done that and I would have called in and pretended that I was an attorney, could you imagine The outrage. Could you imagine the fist pounding, them talking about what kind of monster I am, how disruptive? I mean, again, we're talking about the same people that decided that they had to throw a fit because Megan Fox covered a song. And because of her cover, or well, made a song, I'll say covering an event rather, because she made a song talking about Gainesville to Gainesville, he threw a fit in the courtroom. Could you imagine if people were doing something like this, like truly harassing? You know that stuff isn't happening. And you know why it's not happening? You know how you know? Because they're not complaining about it in court dockets. Hey, kiddo, what you doing? What you doing? I was getting a drink there. What you doing?
I was watching TV, and I went here so I don't have to walk, and you have to look at me.
Oh, really? Did you finish your live stream?
Yes.
You did. What were you live streaming about?
Always my chippy stuff.
Oh, really?
Chippy chippy.
That's funny. All right. Well, hey, go settle in. I told you you could stay up for a little bit if you wanted to go settle in and watch your thing. Okay.
Why are your hands so cold?
My hand's cold? It's because it's cool down here. And I was drinking my cold drink. I was drinking my water, which is cold, and I was drinking that, which is cold. You know?
That looks like water, but it has bubbles.
Yeah, it's a Sprite. No sugar.
No sugar slide?
No sugar, no caffeine.
I need to get my sugar thing.
You need sugar, huh?
I need to get my sugar thing down because when I get too much candy, I got sugar beating.
I know, you go crazy, don't you?
Yeah,
like,
that's why. And the sugar drinks always make me. When I do sugar drinks, that means I only take one sugar drink a day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's why we don't do them a lot, right?
Yeah, so I need to get next time. Buy me one of those next time. I need one of those to get my energy level down. I mean, candy.
Okay.
You know I love those black Cokes. Okay. Next time when you buy one of those, just give one to me because I love them now.
Okay.
They taste so good.
Okay. Well, why don't you...
I need to try that next day. Make sure I buy one next day if it has some sugar candy.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll go upstairs.
Yeah, the sugar and the sugar.
Don't drink no more sugar today. No more sugar tomorrow either. Because you need to, remember we only have it sometimes. You can have it like a candy or something. After you eat all your food.
Next time we go to candy store, I'm going to get 5 of that way, but I'm going to only get one a day. Only one a day.
Okay.
Yeah, that little icy thing that you sway with.
Okay.
I'm just gonna get one a day, but I'm gonna get 5. And next time I go get there, just go get 5. Okay. Every time I go there, I'm gonna get the same candy. Hope they're not out next day. If we go to the candy store, if I beg to go to the candy store, you have to take me to the candy store because I love candy. Okay.
All right, we'll go have fun. Love you, kiddo.
I love candy.
Yeah. She's so funny there. She's so funny. She's been getting out her tablet saying that it's live streaming. I'm live streaming. It's good times. I saw your comment, by the way, John. If you get tired of YouTube, that's fine too. I'll tell you, like I thought about Rumble at one time, but here's my problem with Rumble. Okay, Rumble. I'm going to be blunt about them. If there's a problem, they won't fix it. They won't write you. They don't even pretend to fix problems. I ran into 2 incidents with Rumble where I had one of them was taking down material because somebody said it was copyrighted. It was part of, again, I'm not even going to bring who they are up, but it's part of a case, let's just say. There's a video, and they wrote Rumble, and Rumble, they just took it down. They were like, sorry about your luck, take it down. Now, I wrote them and found out they don't have an appeals process or anything like that. They don't have any process whatsoever. They don't even pretend to have one. So I wrote, and I have a quote unquote connection with Rumble. They assign you a person, and I have a person there. But when I wrote them about that, they told me they would do something about it, or they look into it, and they didn't. Now, the second thing, and this is much newer, with regard to everything that's been going on, Megan Fox and myself, we had covered, well, we had done some exclusive content over there, let's just say. Actually, this is something I guess you all haven't heard, so I'll tell you about this one too. So with the exclusive content on that, what we found out was that supposedly they were getting letters complaining to legal about us, and I was like, well, I want to find out if that's real. So I wrote the guy that is our contact over there. And obviously, I mean, no video has gone down or anything, which is good. But I wrote over there and I wanted to confirm that, number one, that was happening. I wanted to confirm, number two, who was doing that. And number three, I wanted to see if I could get a statement on policy over there. So I was told, sure, yeah, we will forward you over to the person that can do that. They can actually give you the statements and everything, and you'll get a statement back. Well, guess what? Nothing happened. Because that's the way it is. I guess if you're large enough, maybe over there you can get some kind of contact. Also, the other problem there is too. So to be able to do any of their stuff, if you can go over there for free and hopefully nothing will get hit. If you want to actually be able to do it as part of like a business endeavor, you want to continue to do it. One of the problems that you run into as well is you have to use Rumble Studio, and you have to use it for, I think, 30 hours on the way. I have to look at exactly how that thing kind of set up, but I think it was 30 hours on the week. It's a crazy amount of time, especially using Rumble Studio, because the only thing you could do then is make things that are Rumble exclusive. And I have to say, doing things with Rumble, it feels like just as much of a chance here. Now, as far as content, maybe you'll like something later on, but taking your wrench, nah, man. If you decide to pick back up, you're welcome here, man. You've always been welcome here. You don't have to like the content. If you decide you come back and check out something else, like I said, you're always welcome here. We'll find other cases later on. Again, I like you. I think you're a good person, and I understand. You speak your mind. That's good. You're allowed to. That's one of the things I've always wanted on that. But I don't think there's an alternative to YouTube. I think all the other platforms, and beyond that too, I think these alternative platforms that pop up, many of them become echo chambers. You're taking on, why Me Too fell apart? Because people hit it where it lived. It grew out of Twitter, and it grew out of YouTube, and people went after it in that place. You know how people change social or political views and leanings? They go after it where it lives. If you create something like, let's say, like a Truth Social. Look at how Truth Social worked out. It didn't. It wasn't just because of advertisers or other things. It was because it became an insular echo chamber. People couldn't fight there. They can't argue there. They're not bringing in a dynamic. Now, again, if you don't like something that's covered, that is totally understandable too, buddy. But as far as stripping you of something, man, you ain't done anything wrong. So if you want to go do your thing though, bud, have at it, man. And maybe one day you change your mind. Maybe one day you roll back around and you're like, hey, I've done whatever. Because, there is all kinds of stuff. And yes, every platform comes with its own messed up rules. I also don't like Rumble because, just to be honest, I feel like a lot of people take the idea of freedom of speech and they act like a bunch of angsty edgelords, which they can, but for a long time, it was just chatfuls of people dropping in bombs and whatnot. I was like, man, I don't want that either. I want a place though, where we can talk about stuff where there is a way to actually have fair moderation where we can talk about whatever political or social or anything else. And unfortunately, that doesn't exist yet. Maybe Rumble will become that one day. And if they do, boy, I'm right there. But you also, like I said, you go at it at the belly of the beast. I even thought about joining and being more active on Blue Sky Social. And why? Because that's the belly of the beast, as it were, for many social ills that are going on. Now, would I really want to be part of that? No more than I want to be part of TikTok or Instagram or anything else. But I've thought about utilizing those platforms as well. So I don't know. But I understand you too, buddy. And like I said, you're always welcome, my friend. One day you might change your ideas on YouTube. You might find something that doesn't bore you as much. But right now, this is the only thing that interests me. I don't hide it. It's the only thing that interests me at all. I remember it was funny. I remember the same complaints when I covered Depp, though. All those complaints until they went to trial. And then when it blew up, it was like, holy crap! Now we see why that's a problem. Well, with this one, this originally stripped a guy of his free speech. It stripped him of his right to protect himself with not just himself being able to be armed, but him to even have protection. Now we have a protective order that on paper, protective orders mean something. And yet you have so many third-party violations right now. They just keep happening. You have threats that are transpiring that go after the people that are involved with the protective order itself. We just had protective order. The lawyers attached to it, they had somebody go after them, which is wild when you think about it. I mean, it's absolutely wild. It's nuts. I've never seen anybody like go after the lawyers attached to a protective order. They didn't just win the protective order, mind you. We found out because of these crazy people, because of this nut job right here, actually. He started mailing out the protective order, even though they didn't want that. The judge rather didn't want that, even though started mailing it out and looking at it. What you found out was that the protective order was granted, but also you had follow-ups. One of those follow-ups, interestingly enough, Levy County. This is a county, by the way, that tells you that if you don't tape, it doesn't exist. So this guy has to, it reminds me of a movie. There was a movie at one time that I watched, and it seems so insane, okay? It was about a guy that had been falsely convicted. I believe it was of murder. This came out in the 1990s. This guy, afterwards, after he was released, he wore camera rig everywhere. I can't remember the name of this freaking movie. It was an independent film. It used to come on the Independent Film Channel, IFC, all the time. I liked it though. It was bizarre. It was an interesting one. This guy wore a camera rig all the time, and he would record, and he would put everything in a safe. And even despite that, though, he had beat the system. He had called out corruption there, and he had embarrassed it, and they tried to ruin his life anyway. And it was like, man, that seemed so far-flung, like it couldn't be a reality. And yet here we are, a couple of decades later. And I think I've surrounded my home with cameras, not from paranoia, but I think from need. And when you go out, I feel like even in this town, which would act, I think you need to record sometimes. But if I lived in Levy County, I'd have cameras strapped all over me all the time. I'd be recording every minute of everything. And that's wild to me. There are so many aspects, but 5 cases that have sprung off this so far. I figure the very litigious, vexatious litigant, BBB. I figure he will sue everybody too. So you definitely, like for myself, I'm gonna catch everything that comes up. You know, I'm definitely not letting these people ever catch me off guard. I will catch everything they do, every threat they make. Unfortunately, if you want to cover something, even if, what I learned from this too is look at DUI guy. DUI guy did move on. He started covering other things. He did it for months. Did they sue him anyway? Yeah. So they plan to sue. They've made it very clear, in fact. They are mailing every YouTuber they can, any random person out there, telling them they plan on suing us all. So it's going to be interesting. So yeah, I think I'm in it for the long haul. I also don't appreciate people making threats toward me and mom. So, when they do that, it makes me interested too. I think a lot of people would agree with that as well. When an ex-felon tells me that I need to sleep with a Glock under my pillow, basically telling me, wink, wink, you need to walk away from this, I just don't feel like I should. Maybe that makes sense too, buddy. But John, I do. I appreciate the fuck out of you. And I will never take your wrench away. I don't care if you ever come back. I'll never take your wrench away. You've been a good dude. And I think we agree on a lot of things. But we disagree on some things too. And that's okay. It's a perfect world that way. So you may hate the platform. One day maybe, maybe YouTube, if Rumble or other get their shit straight, maybe we can go there too. But we can't give up on these platforms either, because what we do is, this case too, if it went forward the way that they want it to, they file counterclaims. Let me pull those up for a second. All right? Just give me a minute. Let me make a point with that as well. So they file counterclaims, and the counterclaims would hit every YouTuber in the mouth if it went through. Now, do I think it'll go through? No, I actually don't. But the game that they're playing, could it happen? Maybe. I've seen weirder stuff, but what they're trying with their counterclaims. Give me 1 second. It'll take me a second to roll it down. There's a bunch of it. Their counterclaims come in 3 pieces. All right. And the 3-piece counterclaim, it's fascinating because, all of this really, this is what a lot of people don't understand about cases. And I'm sure you do, John. I'm sure you do. You've been around on cases quite a bit, buddy. You've been there for a lot of wild ones. So with this, though, a lot of people don't understand when they first look at cases that interpretation of law is up to judges. Now, you can appeal. An appeals court may strike down something like particularly egregious. But with this, what's really insane are these federal items. And they've tried something really weird with the federal item moving over Florida Statute 54008. So 54008, what they're trying with this is they're trying to push the idea that in video thumbnails, you can't talk about something if you don't have someone's permission. Now, this should already be well established. You should be able to throw out case law and just absolutely destroy this. But you want to keep people apprised of it because you never know. And you also have, the third count on here. The first guy I skipped the first count. But you also have the invasion of privacy by unauthorized publication. And with it, it's going with you use their photo, image, or likeness. Oh, man, right there. That's intended to humiliate and mock. You can't do that. Yeah, you can. It's not the purpose. It's not to humiliate and mock. But if they feel humiliated by it and they feel mocked, you got to remember that unless you're breaking the law with something, like if it's revenge porn or something, man, that's a different thing. But if we're talking about, I put up a thumbnail, and that thumbnail is the face of somebody in their deposition, and they look like an absolute fool in that. Is it my fault that they feel humiliated by the way that they look and they act? No, absolutely not. Now, you do have to have certain caveats to that. They have to be at least a limited purpose public figure, which they've admitted that this person is a celebrity, and they have to be a public interest for this. And with thousands of people that show up and watch it, yeah, it is definitely public interest. But I also know it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, like anything else. You know, and I get the YouTube thing, man. Holy crap, I get it. I get annoyed every day as I watch mainstream media, the dinosaur that social media made extinct, creep back into every social media platform and buy influence in them. All of them. You know, we see it. They do it through advertising dollars. They do it through, other avenues. For example, on these big cases, if you notice, you'll see mainstream media at the top of search algorithms for almost any platform. You'll find them there, or you'll find some large corporation back talking head. And the reason they do that is because they buy their way to the front of the line. You know? And that's not just on YouTube, but it is very annoying. I have to say. But with this, man, I think this case is fascinating. But it's just like in my own life, I like to listen to audiobooks, and people around me, they might not want to hear about the Borgia Pope. They might not want to hear the 18 books I picked up on the Borgia Pope, because I don't listen to one if I'm interested to pick up 18. Or, right now I've been listening to stuff on the Wild West. I got interested in listening to stuff on Jesse James, because I watched that movie, The Assassination of Jesse James, by the coward Bob Ford. And I got interested in that. I wanted to listen to the book on that. And then when I listened to the book on that, it went through. But, nobody around my house wants to listen to anything on that. So I get that too. I see it in my own life there. You know what I mean? So I get it totally. But again, it rolls back to, I'm not taking your roots away though or anything. Because like I said, I like you. I like you, period. But also in that, you didn't violate anything. If you happen to delete YouTube one day and disappear, then it is a loss for sure. I don't think you should give up on the platform. I don't think we should concede any platform to anyone. But getting tired of it, oh yeah, I get that. Now I do hope to bring back short videos soon, but health-wise, I've not been able to do it. I can't right now. I take that medication, and that medication currently, I get about 12 hours out of my day, and 4 of them are cooked. So I stretch it out. I take something about noon. I stretch it out to about 5, and then I end up taking something else about 9. But on the back end of that, it's just my body hasn't adjusted to it. I figured I'd hope to do shorter video, like an 8-minute video. There is one I want to do, like I said, that pertains to the Blake Lively stuff, but I just haven't been able to do it yet. I can't focus mentally on it enough. It just isn't there. In setting and editing, I haven't managed to be able to do it yet. Hopefully it'll come in the next week or 2. Maybe I'll be adjusted to it enough, but I haven't gotten there yet. So I just can't do it, and it's, so I've been trying to know my limits on that too. I want to show you some other stuff that came up too. Give me 1 second.
Hey, Dad.
I might have my Raider first. What's up, Kayla?
Can you put this back on?
Is that your charm bracelet?
I
Yeah.
didn't know it was
No, it
cake
comes
that I got.
No, they come off. They come off. It's okay. You know,
That's
don't-
okay?
Yes, it's okay. Just don't pull on them and break them, but they pop off sometimes. See how it opens?
Yeah.
She got a Care Bear charm bracelet.
Chamber.
Yes, it's very cute. I love it.
What's Mom's listening? Look at getting heights.
Yeah, you're getting hearts. They hear you come in. They're getting hearts.
Hey.
They love you.
Hey.
Hey, but you got to go get ready for bed.
Have a good time and make sure have a cute
time.
Yeah, cute time.
Okay.
I said have a cute time.
Okay. Well, we all know we should have a cute time. You know.
If the thing that's so good about me, just I brought you.
Well, somebody sent. Hey, look! I see right here. Somebody sent candy or lip gloss money. Oh man.
Check the candy money.
Freeze frame. That was a movie. Yes, that's what it is. Thank you. I wanted to watch that again.
What's freeze flame?
It's a movie I was talking about earlier.
What's freeze flame?
It's about a movie about a guy who records himself all the time. It's just a movie. Well, you're like, that doesn't sound fun, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't like listening to Dad's audiobooks, do you? No, exactly. That's what I thought. See. All right. Hey, go upstairs though. I got some other stuff I got to cover, baby.
The bad parts took my ass.
Yeah. Well, I've got some bad parts to cover, so y'all need to go upstairs.
Just do the key window.
All right. Well, hey, you can watch your thing for a few more. Like I said.
I'm a walking pop. Can you open a walking pop?
Yes, I'll open the rock pop. You did eat all your food today, so go get a rock pop real quick. I'll open it for you.
You know I talked about mac and cheese in the morning?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when I was done with my french fries, you did do that.
Okay, we'll go get your rock pop if you want it.
Oh, what about the mac and cheese?
In the morning, yeah. Tomorrow we can have some mac and cheese, yes.
Make sure to be awake. When the sun's up, I'm awake. Okay, when the sun's not up, I'm awake. Okay.
Okay, go. Go get it, or I'm not gonna be able to open it. Holy moly!
Go get my walk pop.
I know you're making a case for something you already got. I don't know what's going on with that. Like, why are we arguing the case you already won it? Like, I'm just debating. It's so funny, man. Some days. Oh my goodness. I do hope everybody understood this, though. First of all, I do hope you got why this is crazy, right? This guy contacted Randy and harassing them. I hope I made that clear enough. I am going to move on from it, but I really hope I made that clear enough. Here, bring it to me. Bring it to me.
I'm doing a freeze thing.
Don't freeze. Okay, well you're gonna be froze with that. It's gonna melt. You know, if you red light, green light there, it's gonna melt on you.
With like green light. It's like the honey cookie
melt
thing,
on
but you freeze when you cut in your cookie thing.
Here you go. Go have fun.
Freeze.
Yeah. Now take it upstairs. It's gonna drip everywhere. Go.
Hey, I'm doing my freeze thing.
I know, but I don't want it dripping down here. Take it upstairs. Get a paper towel with it too. Get a paper towel and wrap it around it so it doesn't get on your hands, okay? Yep. Swear. So, like I said, I hope this makes sense. I'm gonna move on from it. I wanted to bring that back up. I do hope that I did make enough sense. I've got a lot of rating tonight, which I guess it makes up for. This was wild too. So there was a post. This was just a few days ago, right? This was in, check this out. So this was in well, here, I'll show it to you. This was in Otter Creek and the Shadier Bunch. And it was talking about BBB throughout one of these live streams had quite a bit to say. And I thought this was actually fast. There's a lot of these, like a lot of it. And this is kind of fascinating considering, he's telling people, for example, you remember when they They filed asking for a bench trial. Well, he's telling people, yeah, you know, if we ever go to trial, we would prefer no jury. Of course, they don't want a jury of their peers. Of course. And they admit it straight up. BBB's like out there, yeah, you know what? I wouldn't want that, you know? We want the judge to be the fact finder. Now, what's fascinating is if you look at some of the stuff, they seem to want the judge to be the actual finder of facts, as in, you look up things for us. You do all the research. You do this and that. And it's kind of wild sometimes, just to be honest, to see. I think it's strange. It's strange how committed to the insanity in that. Let's see. Oh my God. Look at John Cook is like, he's like, oh my God. Now they call Veteran Nation something else, but they're like, oh, Uncle Fester. I was like, oh my God, is John Cook making fun of someone's looks? Really? John Cook of anybody else? Does that guy think he should be making fun of anybody and how they look? Oh my God, really? Oh my God, that's one of the funniest things I think I've ever heard. There's more of these, by the way. Yes, it's not the judge's job to go and dig through discovery and try to figure out what in God's name. Hey, John, I just thought of this. Do you hate this case because this guy is misrepresenting your name? I would hate that, to be honest. I've seen a couple of them that have my real name, and I've been like, no, you got to fight and retake your name, sir. You need to fight for your name, John. I'm just joking, man. I swear. Look at him throw his fits about stuff, too. He's throwing his fit about the request and about how the judge, he didn't listen to me. Look at this. This is awesome, though. We're supposed to hand over. I have no idea. I don't know what we're supposed to do. I don't know what we're supposed to hand over to the judge. He's going to complain about the just all of it. Just look at that. I have no idea. He's like, show it. Let everyone answer it. Yes. Let everyone help. The relevant time period, you can tell he's complaining about. Again, he's complaining about the discovery on this. He's like, the relevant time period is from January the 1st, 2020 to present. Now, this actually links into something I was saying with, this is where it gets interesting. Any lawyer worth their salt would have been able to narrow this down and more. You know, I've been laughing about this in the Blake Lively case. All right. In Blake Lively's case, she wanted 2.5 years worth of any communication whatsoever that Justin Baldoni had. You know, because they're grasping at everything, right? And that's what you do. You throw out this wide net, and then you come back in and you narrow it, you argue over it. That's how it's supposed to work. But Bruce is so inept that he failed on the most basic items that you do. He failed in putting in his, well, he'll mention it here. I mean, you can actually see him complaining about, I didn't get to have my hearing. And we'll look at all these too. You know, oh man, like the documents there. And the judge is like, what if they ask for this? What if they ask for the Vatican documents? It's so much craziness. And then he has to put in polyflop too. But you can see him whining because of boilerplate, you know. And it fascinates me because he should know better. Judges don't like that. You're forcing them to do the work. You're not making a case and saying, this is why this is irrelevant. You're throwing all of these just very basic concepts at it and saying, oh, these are the reason that this doesn't work. And when you do that, again, judges hate you for that. They do. They do. They hate it. They consider it, as the judge said, if you do that, what it looks like to them is that you've done nothing at all. Because you're asking them to do all the work. So when he's complaining about that time period, yeah, he should have been able to go and whittle that down. I agree. I absolutely do agree. But he was so inept, he caused this. So when he's out there whining and complaining about the judge, which that's what he's doing, he's whining about the judge. Why don't the judge did this? No, you did it, sir. You did this. You're the one who screwed it up so badly that it just made an absolute disaster out of it, you know? He's like, all they want is they want to call the numbers and see who answers. No, they can tell. They can look and see some of the people definitely they're hooked up with. And they can kind of see the ecosystem takes form. Everything about the ecosystem, it takes form in that what the hell's ecosystem, you know? What's funny is they say there's a what the no. There's this anti what the hells, and I'll shorten it to the what the hell's ecosystem. Now they're like, oh my God, it's so bizarre. Like they want to pretend that the anti what the hell's ecosystem is just wording. Like they didn't go in behind the scenes and have BBB create it. It's so bizarre. This guy, everything he does is so bizarre with this, but. No, they want to see it come together. He said if there were unresolved issues, he'd have a hearing. He didn't have a hearing. I never got to argue to the judge because he never held a hearing as he said he would. I have to turn over everything. Oh my God. Again, this judge themselves in their own decisions, you should understand, you should do enough research to know that the judge themselves doesn't like, again, boilerplate statements. They hate that. Now, most judges do too, but this judge, they hated it too. And he made it very clear. He made it absolutely clear. He had done it in other stuff. And if they would have gone and they would have done like a modicum of research, they would have understood that. And like again, you know, federal rules, civil procedure, if necessary, a Rule 60B motion will need to be filed. Want to do number 11 also? So he's telling them what to cover. Isn't that fascinating too? Look, he's telling these people. Remember, he doesn't run the show, right? But look, show it. Let everyone answer it. Show it. He's telling them, yeah, I'm going to do it. And also, you're gonna read this one too? So he's telling them what to do in their live streams. Again, you know, I would be very unhappy with something like that happening. Again, this isn't input. This isn't somebody saying, hey, I like X, Y, or Z. You know, I would enjoy this. No, what you're seeing here is somebody telling people how they should cover things. And to me, that is absolutely nuts. He's like, what document exists to meet the request here? Well, you should have thought about that. You should have brought that up as a point instead of, you know, crashing through and making an absolute mess out of your filings too. But I never got to say, Judge, these are crazy and impossible. He just said, objection overruled because they were boilerplate. Exactly. You didn't say, hey, look at these here. Like this is overbroad because You never went in and put that in paper. You wanted to file again. You wanted to throw anything at this, hope that something stuck. And then afterwards, you wanted to be able to argue to the judge. I'm a man. Are you kidding me, dude? Have you ever, anyone say, have you ever won a case like that? It's wild stuff there. Yeah. What if the request objected to overruled was all the documents in the Vatican library? Oh my God. I would say that the Vatican would bring in people that weren't so inept that they couldn't argue against this, and they would have made some actual objections. Let's just say there was a world where that could happen. This is a stupid argument here, but yeah, I mean, with him not wanting to turn over all of those phone records, 100%, he could have made an argument for that, but he didn't. He didn't at all. I asked for his phone record for a 10-day period. They objected. Of course they did. Of course they objected. Of course they did. They're not going to turn over. You know what? Another thing too. Like, what have they ever cooperated with? They won't even cooperate as far as BBB and his quote unquote clients. What have they ever cooperated with? They won't even cooperate with a protective order. I mean, a protective order that is in place, that has been ruled on multiple times by now. We have, again, BBB, as he's made it very clear. He not only doesn't respect that, he makes threats saying, I want you to think about what I got thinking about one of the statements that he made in that. We'll come back to this in one second. But look, I got thinking about the protective order yesterday, because like I said, I've had a protective order before. And when I was looking at this, he's telling these people here, like, check out this statement right through here. He notes, continuing to pursue spacious motions for contempt. If you go in and you try to bring up contempt again, even though if my clients are violent, it doesn't matter. You try to do anything about that, I'm coming after your firm. What the fuck, man? This is nuts. On top of that, too, he's made all of these claims that he's going to be going after Hale's. He's throwing his fit about the magistrate. I can't believe the magistrate did this. I can't believe, some of these people have been talking about, man, the court, they're going to get in trouble. Hales, he's going to get in trouble. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you really that stupid? You think somehow, in some way? I mean, Hales, he already has a protective order. It's been awarded. It is in effect. Like, you learned about protective orders. You actually saw how well the protective order it stands to spy. Remember Laura Owens? Laura Owens had one that was very questionable, right? An actual legit questionable protective order. And despite that, can't touch it. Court, they didn't really have anything they could do about it. But BBB, he continues to do this. And again, some of the stuff that he's doing here, these are the kind of things that get you in trouble. They get you in big trouble. But hey, bravo, I guess. Bravo. I mean, if he wants to be nutty, let him be nutty, right? Let him be nutty. I say. He said, at least I relied on that there would be a hearing before he ruled. Yeah, the judge was like, your filing is so garbage that He said there would be a hearing and he didn't have one. He was like, oh God. When the $100 missing, when the $100 missing every week is always the thief, but the Solomonic judge always splits the blame between the thief and the honest person. The thief makes $50 every time. What? What? I understand what he's trying to say with the Solomonic judge. You know the the biblical stories with Solomon again. You have it. Yeah. But what the hell? Are you the thief in this situation, Bruce? Did you make $50? Or is anybody that doesn't agree with you, are they somehow in some way the quote unquote thief? It's fascinating because again, this is the way that his errors show. Like this goes back to what I was saying yesterday too. So you remember yesterday we were having a little laugh about his newest filing. The filing that came up yesterday where he was complaining about Gainesville to Gainesville. And he was essentially telling the judge, you're wrong, judge. You're wrong. I'm right in this. This is actually how it comes in. Oh yeah, by the way, I've got a gift for you on that there. He's like, this is actually, where is it? Give me a second here. I gotta roll up to it. You remember actually? Well, it is actually that's paint, by the way. That's white paint. White paint settles on your stomach better, maybe. I don't know. That's grok. Oh my God. Holy crap. Actually. I love it. Oh my God. I had so much fun with that one. Give me a second. I gotta put my place again. But yeah, I mean, what the heck? He's like, the honest person always loses $50. Then he goes, he's polymopping again. Polymopping can't be done without a complicit licensed lawyer. That's fascinating too. So he's saying that people that file more litigation to go after everybody in there, mama, that can't happen without a licensed lawyer. Sounds like you're talking about yourself, BBB. Because she's threatening everybody and the mama out there. Again, you even sued the freaking police officer that came up on property when people were retrieving property, which is an asinine lawsuit, by the way. I mean, look at all the people that they went after. It's so funny. He's like polymobs. Oh my God, I love it. I absolutely freaking love it. I got curious too about the worm. If you don't know what I'm talking about either, I'm talking about the letter yesterday. This got my attention because Bruce you got to think about this, right? All right, you're having communications with somebody behind the scenes, right? You're having private communications, yeah. Now, BBB in this, he is either how dumb he is about hiding what he's doing, which there's a strong case for that, or he just doesn't care who throws under the bus. And the reason I say that is because you notice he removed the identifying who's, right? Except he left that in, like where everyone knew exactly who this would be. He left in former town attorney for Otter Creek. He left that little bit in there. And that little bit actually says quite a bit. We're talking about, interestingly enough, we were talking about a non-litigating lawyer, that I don't know if they want to be involved after everything that happened with the Russ the Sus and more. Actually, let's pull those up. So I was catching up on everything, and I was catching up on some of the stuff that LP and JC were doing, and there's a wonderful video out there that has some of this captured. There's actually some very interesting videos because this stuff happened for a long time. But there were the signs that included well, we're also talking about ye old worm. Now, this stuff is cut off here, but you can see, back when they were talking about the corruption and backroom dealings, Russell Meeks and Stuart Stewart. Wow, what craziness, by the way. I always thought, I don't know why, but when I was catching up on this stuff, I always thought Stuart Stewart was a nickname. I did. I thought Stuart Stewart was a freaking nickname, right? I did not realize that Stuart Stewart was the actual name of birth. I just thought it was a nickname, like all kinds of other ones. I was like, okay, And then when I looked it up, before this, I'm talking about before now, I was like, wait a minute. Stuart Stewart's his real name. Oh my God. I love it. I love finding that out. I do. I love finding that out. I mean, isn't that funny? But with this, what fascinates me is that you have BBB recruiting. He's going out after anybody he thinks that he can recruit into this. He's talking behind the scenes, trying to get them involved. And you find out, well, wait a minute, his clients actually targeted these people. His clients actually targeted everybody, including the guy that he's having communication with. And beyond that, like I said, we have BBB throwing him under the bus in filings. I couldn't believe, if you wonder what I'm talking about. So yesterday, just a note, let me pull up the beginning of this. So just in case you didn't catch yesterday was funny. I'll do a live stream. I can't wait for the live stream with Megan on this because it'll be really funny. But yesterday we covered a filing that just popped off where we had a new, well, no, that's the Bruce filing. Oh no. Dun, dun, dun. That's a grievance complaint. My bad about Bruce. Did I put that on the screen? Oh, my bad. We will cover that another day. Okay, that was totally an accident. My bad. Sorry about that. Okay, so I got myself laughing. So yesterday we had a reconsideration of the motion Gainesville to Gainesville. If you missed out on the coverage of that, this was amazing. Okay. All right. We not only had Gainesville to Gainesville, which if you don't remember, we'll talk about it with Megan because Megan's mentioning this. We'll definitely have fun talking about this with her. But they whine about Megan in here. But what's amazing about this, first of all, it isn't actually judge, but in here he's whining because he's saying if we were able to move the hearing around, we were able to get this stuff, somewhere else, then I could get people involved. And here's my proof. Here's my letter. This is me talking to the unknown party, which I redacted. And you can see again, let's just listen to this. Again, he burned this person. Like he absolutely burned them. Please show the complaint about my mind. Y'all really want to see the complaint about Bruce? It's old. It's not new, though. Are you interested in the complaint with Bruce? Would you be interested in that? I just didn't think that would be a big deal. I totally didn't think you would want to see it. December 21st, 2022. Talking about a a probable violation. I didn't think you might. Do you want to see that? Oh, okay. Huh. All right. I'm just playing. Of course, I'm going to show that to you. Messing around. We will. We'll look at that in a minute. Pulled that. You know who found all that stuff. Oh, the shiz. Oh, the shiz. But in this, like I said, if you read through it, what's fascinating here, he says, this is in response to your request for some local help with aspects of litigation referenced above. I understand it's a lot to handle, given the distances involved. I have virtually no familiarity with the situation that is the subject of litigation, but as the former town attorney for Otter Creek, I have a sympathetic view of what you're dealing with. That line right there, I'm sure he did not want that line coming out. I'm sure he was like, shield my name. But Bruce, again, is either so inept or he just doesn't care who he burns. Maybe a little of both. Maybe a lot of both. I don't know. He just burned them on that. A worm. We can have a long conversation about it. I've been piecing all that stuff together so I could understand, how all of that happened, how the corruption stuff came together, about the monies. In fact, I found some video stuff where we could talk about that, but we'll put that together another day. So you want to see the letter? Okay. Well, this is a letter again. This is from 2022, actually. This is for Bruce. It's about grievous complaint, Jones versus Manskin. Dear Attorney Manskin, in September 29th, 2022, finding a probable cause, the reviewing panel found a probable cause of a violation on your part of Rule 1.5C of your Rules of Professional Conduct. You provided your fee agreement. Remember, this is what started him down the road to go absolutely crazy, where he's like, I gotta build. I gotta get famous so I can shoot this down. Some of this is interesting. You provided a fee agreement. The plan was consideration of probable cause. The agreement consisted of several emails between you and your office and the complainant. The panel opined, quote, that an exchange of emails could satisfy the requirement for a written agreement signed by the client. However, the panel nonetheless found that, quote, there is probable cause to believe that the respondent's purported contingency fee agreement did not meet the remaining requirements of this rule. The panel took into account your assertion that there were no expenses in the forum in which you were representing the complainant, CHRO, but they remained, quote, of the opinion that the asserted contingency fee agreement may be too vague, and that therefore there's probable cause to believe the rule may have been violated. They note, here's the Rule 1.5, the relevant part. The contingent fee agreement shall be in writing, signed by the client, and shall state whether and to what extent the client will be responsible for the court cost and the expenses of litigation, and whether such expenses are to be deducted before or after the contingent fee is calculated. The agreement must clearly notify the client of the expense for which the client will be liable or not the client, prevailing party. Emphasis added. So your purported contingency fee agreement included in the record lacks any information regarding the issue of whether and to what extent the client will be responsible for court costs and expenses of litigation. Your purported contingency agreement is bereft of any indication as to whether the complainant will be responsible for court costs and expenses of litigation during your representation. As a result, your asserted contingency fee agreement, by clear and convincing evidence, doesn't meet all of the requirements of contingency fee agreements, and therefore it violates Rule 1.5C of the Rules of Professional Conduct. Violates those. That's interesting. See also Statewide Grievance Committee Rule Procedure 11A1, notwithstanding, again, they're telling you Disciplinary counsel may file a motion to dismiss grievance complaint after finding it probable if disciplinary counsel believes he or she does not have evidence to meet clear and convincing standard of proof required to prove alleged rule violation. Our office is still will pursue this matter at a contested hearing unless the parties agree to a disposition pursuant to. I've included a copy of that rule. And again, due to the nature of the communications with this office thus far, all communications from this office will continue to be in writing. Look at this. This is where it gets fascinating. Due to the communication, or due to the nature of your communication with this office thus far, all communications from this office will continue to be in writing. You should refrain from including bar counsel on correspondence that substantively discuss this grievance, including correspondence discussing potential disposition. Once the hearing is scheduled, we'll get in touch. Isn't it fascinating? He has to be told, yo, don't be including people. Don't be writing this way. We have to write you. We have to show proof of this. It's interesting because it reminds me of what Randy was saying with phone calls. He's like, essentially, yeah, I want everything to be recorded. Why? Because anything that comes up with this person. Yes, of course. Isn't this fascinating though? I mean, have that. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's funny. I think the bottom part of that is the most fascinating. And if you really want to find out about all of this stuff, you have Ask Shizzy about everything that led up to that and how everything rolls with it. I think it's pretty funny. Yeah. Man, there's so much else too. But let's hit super chats. I think we're there today. Hey, Carol, thanks for the 4 months. It's my birthday today. Glad to be with Tug and the Thugs. I'm glad you're here, Carol, too. I will give you the Chi-Chi song. I'll give it to you there. Let's see. Happy birthday from all of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Yes. I love it. I love busting the Chi-Chi song out. And a happy birthday for real. I'm glad you're here. Frankie, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Drop 5 giftos out there. Thank you, Frankie. I appreciate you there. I have my favorites. Thanks for the gifted membership. Thank you for that too. I appreciate the heck out of that. Death's Angel also. Thank you for a gifted membership too. Thank you for that. That is awesome as well. Fallen Hero dropped a gifted membership as well. Man, I love gifted memberships too. Saw a bunch roll in today. John, I covered your super chat on that too. I covered that. And I hear you, bud. And like I said, the one thing that out of all that, I do want to note is I'm not pulling your wrench. If you leave YouTube or you don't, I don't care. You're always welcome here, man. You've been here a long time and you get bored and not bored, whatever. I don't care. Like, you're welcome here. You're a good dude. You and yours are always welcome here. You're welcome to agree, disagree, whatever, man. Like I said, I appreciate you. Sticky Widget, thanks for the 5 there. Hey, y'all can't stay for the stream, but it's good to see y'all. Indeed. Thank you, Sticky, from the multiple y'alls. I love it. Thank you. Tennessee Susie, thanks, Bob. John's wrong. This is interesting. Not things covered by everyone. Well, I mean, I get what, like I said, I get what John is saying there, though. Like, everything isn't, and you're allowed to say, here's the thing I want you to understand here, though, for all of you. And I appreciate you, obviously a lot of people enjoy it, but I want you to be able to say that you don't. If you don't like something, you should be welcome to say it. That's the thing. Like here, I don't want an echo chamber. If you don't like something, I do want you to be able to say it. And I want you to be able to agree or disagree. It's just like that. And to do it with courtesy. You don't owe anybody nicety, but there's no reason not to show nicety to one another. You understand what I mean? I can't tell you to like each other or anything is what I mean, but I like all of you, and you're allowed to have opinions, you know? Like, that's how I end up with stuff there too. And the one thing I would stress on that is, like, again, you know, you like something, you dislike it. I do. There is, like, I don't want to say the video that I want to do, because there is a video that I really want to do that covers Ryan Reynolds. But like right now, I cannot do short form videos. I can't set for it. And like, I just, med wise, I can't do it right now. And that's also why I haven't been doing short form videos. It's actually one of the reasons that I haven't, you know, for the longest time was having like odds and ends health problems. But finally I started getting, you know, I got medication that does help. It does. What I found out was my blood pressure was crashing, and it does crash with that. I noticed it the other day. So I gotten up and I didn't take something right off the bat. I was, I got straightening something up in the kitchen, and I noticed, like, when I moved my head, I was like, man, my head is like, it feels like it's a full-blown sinus infection without a sinus infection. I was like, this is really a weird feeling. I was like, I bet it's my blood pressure going down. So I checked it out, and at full movement, doing whatever, it was about normal. But when I slow down or sit down or do anything, like, it went all the way down to 108. It was like, holy crap. You know, it would jump, and then it would go lower. So take those things and bam, it's back up. But I still haven't gotten used to them all the way. Like, I can't sit and stare at my screen too long, and I can't sit for a while, but I'm getting better with it. So I'm hoping within a week or so, I'll be able to do stuff with that, because, you know, I think the one thing I do miss, if I'm running at 100%, I like to cover about 3 things. So John is right in now. Like, one of the things he's very much right in is that used to, I would be able to cover, like Warner would mess up and there would be some, like, you know, lawsuit wise, I would pull that in the past, even with something I'm covering. And if something else is up, I would cover that too. But I've not been at 100%. I feel like I'm about at 65%. That's what I feel like a lot of days, you know. Jack, thanks for the tip. Tug, you do you. This is about First Amendment. Yeah, the case is about, it's about First Amendment protections. It's also, like I said, it'll impact a lot of things, a lot more. And it's also dealing with people that are absolutely horrible. Like, I could see something like this happening in my own life, and that's terrifying. I've dealt with some crazy people since I've been on YouTube. Some crazy attempted life ruinous people, and they have been scary, you know, dealing with. And I got to the point, you know, over time, I've never had to deal with something like a Jeremy Hales has, though. Over time, you know what's funny with Jeremy, or actually what bodes well for him? You want me to tell you something that's positive? When I had my health concerns, you know, the first time I went to the ER, Jeremy was afraid it was because of something connected to all of this. And he reached out then, and he was like, dude, you know, I need to check on you, and I'm sorry. But I'm like, dude, it has nothing to do. I love this kind of stuff. Like, this is my babies. I love it. My babies. But I was like, dude, you know, I appreciated that. You know, I absolutely appreciated that. Because this is a dude that is in the eye of an insane hurricane. A lot of people have left him to stand alone. And he's still, you know, he's worrying about other people, man. I was like, man, that's a sign of a good person. And I appreciated that there. You know. He wants to make sure that other people, I see it really follows up the thing that he said in live streams, or he said multiple times, I guess, when it talks about people that are around him, you know, like his people that work with him and stuff. He worries all the time about those people. I was like, man, you know, that's, like I said, that's a sign of a decent person, you know. So I did appreciate that. He wouldn't tell you that story either, but you know, it's not like we have, you know, and it would be a thing. Like if I were there around, or I communicated all the time or something, that would be one thing too. But no, he'd heard about it. He's like, oh crap, you know. But he immediately like thought, man, this has got to be, it's on me. I was like, no, man, it ain't on you at all, brother. You know, this is my fun times. I enjoy it. This stuff could never bother me. You know, these people could not do anything to bother me ever. Emmy, thanks for the 10 there. Do what you love, Tug. I know. That's, I mean, for sure. But like I said, I want people to be able to say, just like with John, I want him to be able to say, hey, I do or don't like that. And I don't want you ever to think, again, there are a lot of places out there that if you disagree with something, they're like, hey, you're out it. No way, man. Like, again, it's what I mean too with, I have people that are right. And I have people that there was a lady that wrote me one time and didn't like, I will say sometimes, it's an old habit. I will say, Jesus wept, man. Jesus wept. She was like, well, I consider that offensive. I think it's terrible. And I wrote her back and I was like, look, you know, that's not meant as offensive. You know, it's actually, yeah, it's a biblical verse, and it comes from being in church. And we used to laugh about the ills that would make Jesus weep. And I think some of this stuff, like, man, for sure. But I appreciated what they were saying there too, you know. And I would never put out who did it on, because it was in good faith. You know, if you write, you don't like something or something else, if you want to say it publicly, you can. Some people say stuff privately, and everybody can dislike whatever. It's okay, man. It's okay. Y'all are good. Shelly, thanks for the 6 months. I love you. You and Megan covering the case. More twists and turns than a roller coaster. I know it's wild. As for the clown, there's what can I say? LOL. I know. They're all nuts there. They are. They are. Debbie, thanks for the 5. Enjoy your commentary on all things. Well, I appreciate that too, Debbie. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Thank you. I have my favorites. Thanks for the 2 months there. It's your channel and you do YouTube. I've tuned in because I enjoy the subjects and have discussed as well. And yeah, with the mods and chat. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing too. You enjoy just chilling, getting into it. I enjoy, you know what I enjoy? I enjoy finding a case and being able to park there and just having this rush of finding and learning about it. Like, there is nothing like it. There is nothing like being able, especially when you know, not just but you know, right? When you know something is awry and you find proof of it, like the anti-Hale's ecosystem, finding proof it existed. You knew it existed, but to find the proof, like seeing the Shara stuff come out, holy crap, what compares to that? What kind of entertainment can you find that would compare to that? And again, I wouldn't wish these on anyone. It's different if you're living it. Like Jeremy Hales lives it. So he would have, you know, and again, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. But as far as coverage is concerned, I mean, what compares to it? It's just wild stuff. Yeah, thanks for the 5 there. I don't really care for the content. It's boring now. That's nothing for me. I'm still here mostly here still for the host. Well, I mean, I understand that too. See, that works for me as well. You know, you're here, and like I said, if the content, if you find that you're into something else, then you can watch it. I'm never telling you to go away. That's not what I mean. That is not ever what I mean, because you are the channel too. But, watching other things. Hey, when I start looking at something, most of everything I do gets consumed by it. It's like I said, when I covered Depp 4 years. And if you look back, how much else did I cover? Really? And it was wild, but it was not like this. This is crazier. They brought in crazy people, but my God, I've never seen anybody bring in an ex-felon that's telling me to sleep with a Glock under my pillow. I'm just nuts. Such Mom, thanks for the 3 months there. Happy Saturday. Thank you. Happy Saturday to you too. I appreciate it. You Finch, thanks for the 4 months. Beaver, what the hell's and the laughs. Thanks for making me laugh. I appreciate that. Indeed. I enjoy the laughter on it. We laugh about whatever. That's the things too. Lady Horse, thanks for what people need to understand is that this whole thing can affect everyone in the state of YouTube. Yeah, I mean, they're aiming at it. And again, the thing that bothers me with any case is a judge decides. It doesn't matter what the law clearly states. You can again appeal and quite possibly win, but you're talking about more time and more years. But yeah, a judge, look what the grudge judge did. Look at how bad that was. Look at it. And when you think about it, yes, an appeals court overturned it, but look at where it went and how bad it was. It was life ruinous, and it again took away a man's rights. It took away his ability to speak. It took away his ability to protect himself and to have others protect him. And he couldn't have certain people around, and he always had to live in fear. And to live in a constant state of fear. It's terrible stuff. Knock it off. Thanks for the 5 there. I enjoy your content. I love your IQ. Yeah, that's so funny, man. I love it. Can you tell what ever came of the plot on Jeremy's life about a year? Oh, the weed plot? It just seemed to fade away. Well, we don't have access to the behind the scenes thing. What we heard again from Shara is that this existed, and she had some compelling stuff, to attach to it, but it's still trapped up there in the court. Did anybody follow up police wise? Well, you've seen the idiot police that are attached to it. Film it or it isn't real. Now, again, we don't have anybody that's told us about that in the ecosystem. Now, I'm going to say the ecosystem has holes and it has conflict. They're telling you it doesn't have holes or conflict right now, but it does. It very much does. But as far as that, I figure I figure that certain people have gone and shoved themselves into a really small insular bubble. It's probably those people that have been threatened with litigation. Now you have to question who would be the weak link in that too. Like if they got leaned on, who might break, because some of those might leak information too. But that's a good question. I mean, at the end, it's there, but ineptitude. And unfortunately, with Jeremy, you got to think the more crazy stuff that pops in, like again, like paint chips and stuff, that has to be, and that's the point in bringing these people in too, but that has to increase his worry. It does. He puts on a good face, but he and his, there are only a few, and I'm not talking about you guys when I say this. I'm talking about people with microphones and stuff. There are not many of us that are left standing because, again, many people have been threatened with awful stuff. How many people are left standing? Like, I wouldn't want you to deal with this. If this were happening to you, I would hope that I would know about it and that me or someone like me would stand with you. you know. Hopefully it would happen. Max Lab, thanks for too. Writing fraud, identity theft. Oh man, I want to know. You know, I got thinking about them pretending to be other people, fake people. Can you think about all the damage that they could have done with some of that stuff? You know, John Cook, I got thinking about his plot that we found out about with Shara, you know, about him putting in the fake number and all of that. And yeah, that was something, you know. And think about if that would have been blamed on someone else, what might have happened. Isn't that insane? Jaden, thanks for the 2 months. But you're talking about, I know what you're talking about in there too. You're talking about the Volpe thing, you know, lying. I'm not sure if saying that you were an attorney there, I'm not sure what you can or cannot do with that. It is messed up though. It's messed up that like I said, BBB, he's trying to maintain deniability and to say these people are not people that they fundraised or they brought in. Really? You kidding me? You kidding me? Jada, thanks for the 2 months. Didn't I hear another channel that the Fed judge has been on vacation? He hasn't seen the latest. I heard somebody say something about that. I've not confirmed or checked that at all. I did see somebody say that, but I have not looked into that in any way, shape, or form, you know? Charlie, thanks for the 2. How's my health tongue? How's not smoking? It's weird. Actually, where I'm at right now. So I am, let's see, Wednesday would have been 14, 15, 16. I guess this is day 17. No caffeine. Actually, the caffeine's fine. You know, I don't even miss it right now. It's interesting. Cokes, I don't miss it. I feel good. I'm on the other side of it. Candy or anything, I don't miss it. A cigar, again, you know, a cigar, you don't inhale it or anything like that. But I mean, it's still not good for you. But yeah, that was something I like to calm, you know, and sit with and do. But I mean, it is what it is, right? You know what I like better? I like watching my kids grow up. So I'd pick that over that any day. The Zohan, thanks for the 2 there. The Ken Out Fox, Randy the Rocket Shucket. Indeed. That was what I feel like. Opie, thanks for the fun there. I found what the hell situation. Frustrating and maddening. Might be confusing. Boring. Thanks for the coverage of convoluted filings and flaws. Yeah, well, you know, I think a lot of the filings, you need somebody to walk you through some of that. And again, I'm not a lawyer. We've looked at enough, you know, but the ecosystem over there, like they cover odds and ends and pretend that they're giving you something. We will look up something ourselves. We will talk to a lawyer if we need to, if I need something confirmed. But most of this stuff is pretty damn basic, you know, that you've been dealing with so far. Also, I responded to this, but, and again, love to John and say that you're a good dad. Love the little girl. Appreciate all the content you've done in the past, but I hate YouTube. I know you hate YouTube. I know that's one thing you said before too, buddy. You know, you said you've been bored with the subject material. Revoke my wrench. I'm leaving with YouTube. You know, if you leave YouTube, you do. Like I said, I want to make that clear. I know you hate YouTube. I know you've gotten to the point that you hate it for many reasons. A lot of people feel that way. My thing on the YouTube front is, again, we are in the belly of the beast as far as many of the social and really political problems that have come through it. Me Too spawned as a social and political problem, like I was saying, from Twitter and from YouTube. It was the false accusation hub. And for the longest time, I thought I'd get banned for talking about the false accusations and more. But we've managed to work in the belly of this beast. And we've managed to cut out a piece of it and to talk about it. And I don't feel like you should ever give that up, because, the other places you could go to, like I was saying before, any of the other platforms that have come up, they either don't have any system where you can appeal. Like they have some truly inherent flaws. They don't even pretend to give you a system for it, or they become like there's echo chambers out there, and they fail too. Like again, like Truth Social, for example, perfect example of it. It became this insular echo chamber that or Blue Sky. That's an echo chamber. Now I did think about rating the echo chamber there just to have fun with it, but they ban you in quickly too. I think we've seen some changes on the YouTube front. We've seen more than we ever expected to see. We've been able to carve out places. And Twitter's the same way. Yes, Twitter is under new management, but new management bans people just like old management used to. And we still managed to carve out, talk about it. Heck, I've been going over to Facebook and messing around, messing with this topic, of course. But again, I do not want to take anyone's rent. I won't take it. You can, if you don't want it, like if you give up, that's fine. If you don't come back, that's fine too. No, it's not fine, actually. I don't mean go away. You know what I mean? I mean, it's your life. You do what you want, man. But I am never making you uninvited. And you're not bannable. Like that's the other thing. There's certain people out there that have been around a long time. And some, there are many of you out there too. But with wrenches, I used to give them away like all the time. And I pulled back a bunch of those at the time, but I left some on people. I was like, I don't want that person banned ever. They don't ever deserve to be banned. They've never done anything wrong, So and that's one of the reasons they're there. You're never expected to be a moderator or something. The wrench is there. A wrench is also a symbol of respect in its own way. And I'm not saying that you're not respected if you don't have one. I'm just saying that for whatever reason, I put it there and I respected you for it, and I still do. So, appreciate you, brother. Wheezy Wheels, thanks for the 2. Yeah, Tuglet Ray, thank you. Yes, she rated in. And John also noted this too. I don't want to go away as a jerk, so let me sweeten the departure and drop 50 gifted memberships on that too. You don't have to do that, brother. I appreciate it. Like I said, you don't have to. I noticed you've been away. I thought you actually left in January. I thought you left YouTube. I departed in January because you said when the new year came around, you were out. So I thought you had bounced, and I understand it, but I hate seeing names that I know. It has nothing to do with money or anything else. I just hate seeing people that I know eaten by the void. It's understandable, but thank you, man. 50 gifted beers is crazy, brother. That's awesome. Janice, thanks for the 20 there. Candy or lip gloss money for Bug and Lug. Thank you. I showed that to her too. She loved that. She thought, oh yeah. Hey, retired Garner. Thanks for the 4 months. Appreciate you, my friend. It's good to see you. Carol, thanks for the 5. God, they're going too far. This is getting scary, Tuck. I'm worried. Yeah, well, that's the thing too. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons to keep an eye on it, because you don't want these people operating in the dark. Look at what we found out again from people like Shara. It shined a light on what they were doing, and it wasn't just busybody nonsense. Potentially, again, allegedly going to get a hitman. Holy crap, dude. White Rabbit, Annie, thanks for the 2 there. And my sugar, man, the morning sugar and coffee. Yeah, it's weird, like not having it. Like for me, I know we were talking about the little one with the sugar. She's like, oh, I love sugar. I've done well without it. Actually, I've never gone this long, I don't think, without it. Wolfkinder asked about the movie Freeze Frame, and yeah, that's what I was talking about. It's a crazy movie. If you've never seen it, what was crazy about it though is at one time going and having to record your entire life, that seemed like a fantasy. No way that'll happen. now that's a reality with some people. Brenda, thanks for the fun. Need your baby's mac and cheese. As I'll listen to. It's probably a lot more interesting than BBB's. That's true. She could plead her mac and cheese case better than his would be better, wouldn't it? Carol, thanks for the 2. Oh, Maud, for the shadier bunch. Are you? That's funny. Yeah, I saw that over there. I check out some of the different groups. The quote unquote fan group, what the hell? It is overrun by anonymous accounts that just try to be disruptive or post really fake shit, and it gets in the way. So I'll look at some of the other ones sometimes more than that. That can be an interesting hub. I don't mind the arguments back and forth, that's okay. But those people that just post actual like fake nonsense is crazy. Cunning Linguist, thanks for the 2 there. I had my Joe Biden twice since last night. I hope that's a joke there, because I've actually had to hit it a couple of times from laughing at stuff. I do hope you're kidding. If you haven't, I hope you're good to go with stuff. Misbehaving, thanks for the gifted membership. Appreciate that. Thank you, Misbehaving. Good to see you too. Carol, thanks for the 2 there. BB can't keep his mouth shut either. I know. And he's talking smack about a judge. Like, why would you? Why would you do that? What an idiot. Elfie, thanks for the 5. Wouldn't BBB made LP produce all those documents as prep for upcoming Fed case if he threatens it's coming? Otherwise, what LP's docs are his argument based? Yeah, what he doesn't want to turn over are all the phone calls and stuff. See, he messed up in the document requests for discovery. Randy asked for phone records for quite a bit. Again, they were pretty broad requests, and a good lawyer would have been able to argue that down, would have been able to set some terms on it, or maybe to kick something. But BBB wasn't a good lawyer. Randy schooled him in that because BBB thought he could go in, do the laziest thing possible, and the judge is going to be like, yes, sir, good job. And it didn't work that way, because it doesn't work that way. Oh, I did show the complaint about Bruce too. Thank you, Max Lab. Appreciate that. Wheezy Wills, thanks for the 5 memberships too. Thank you for that, Wheezy Wills. Appreciate that. And also noted, if people are fed up with the topic, imagine how Jeremy and George feel. Indeed, understand that too. Well, some people also, you got to remember, like some people come to this from other things, and some people, like John. I'm not when I bring up John, I'm not picking on John. I'm showing you the rationale here. John has covered a lot of different things, and sometimes he wasn't a fan of anybody or anything else, and this particular topic it doesn't resonate for whatever reason, and that's okay. Like it may be. It always is interesting to me, though. I always wonder this. What's the difference between this bothers me in my own life. If something like this were to happen to me, I would hope there would be people out there that would take it as seriously as they would take something that happened in Hollywood. Of course, I would take it seriously and talk about it, but I would hope other people would take it as seriously or even more serious, because like Hale's doesn't have an unexhaustible amount of money. He isn't like one of the things that like a Johnny Depp had going for him is he has private security that follows him everywhere. He has an insane amount of money. He can keep himself safe. If somebody's a danger to him or they motivate whack jobs to try to do something, like he'd keep himself safe. But Jeremy Hales is, he's just trying to cut out this thing and trying to figure out how to get by. And I would hope, like I said, I would hope people, if it happened to me, I would hope they would stick up for me by God and stand with me. Daily Dysfunction, thanks for 2. Love you, Tug. You want a flash cast tonight? Maybe. maybe. I'm torn on it. I won't be there right off go, but I am going to redirect people to Flashcast tonight. I mean, Flashcast's always fun anyway, but I'm going to see how I feel. You know, I like Yellow Flash anyway. I consider Yellow Flash like a good friend of mine. Just a note, you know. Like he's a good person. Like you know, I like going on Yellow Flash's channel because hanging out with him, Tom, and a few of the other people there, they're again, I consider them friends. You know, it's not just hanging out or doing something. I've known Yellow Flash since I started this thing, so hanging out with him is always fun. Let me, but it just depends on how I feel. You know, I it's so late, is what it is. It's one of my problems with it. I don't know how medication goes that late. You know, I'll have to see because at a certain about 10 o'clock, I feel like I hit a wall. And I'll have to see if that wall is there today. If that wall is there today, then no. But I will definitely redirect there. On Saturdays, I always redirect there anyway. You know, but maybe. I'm just not sure yet. Vanessa, thanks again. One more thing to love to Bug and Lug. Please give lip gloss money to Bug. Indeed. I will indeed. She was complaining yesterday about having dry lips. She was telling me she needed some more, basically. AJ Stone, thanks for the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you for that, AJ, too. Oh, appreciate that. That's been a crazy one with gifted memberships, too. Thank you. And again, you know, appreciate all of you. Suzanne, thanks for the 5 months. You can't even TLDR this mess hurting Jeremy and George. I know. You do more than 10 days, 8 hours a day. I know. It's crazy. You can't boil all these cases down into one thing. And with the federal case moving at its speed, I don't know how you keep up with it that way. Bonnie, thanks for the gifted membership too. Thank you, Bonnie. Appreciate you. That's awesome, Bonnie. Thank you. Todd, thanks for the find there. I'm here because as a quadriplegic, it's hard to get welcome in most places. I feel welcome here. And well, I'm glad you feel welcome, dude. You know what? You know what I love about being able to do YouTube stuff as well. I don't know anything about any of you except the quality of your statements. You know, like if you tell me like you have a picture there, and Todd, I could assume certain things about you, well, your name, of course, like, you know, being male, I could assume that. I could assume certain things from your picture, like about you or your background, but I don't really know anything about you. What I know is the quality of your statements. And I would much rather judge on the internet. This is one thing I love about the internet. I get to judge for the quality of someone's statements. It gives me a window into who a person is. You know? I love that. But you are welcome, man. And I'm glad that you feel welcome here. Suzanne, thanks for the 5. Remember JD trial when it was stated that umbrella guy, the leader of Twitter, blah, blah, blah. I haven't heard the word. Yes. Yes, indeed. I very much do. Yeah. You know why that is, though. It's because, again, I cover things hard. Or, man. That's the way I cover. If I get on a case, I cover it. I mean, I truly cover it, you know, and it's like I flip over every rock. I try to look at every detail and I try to understand things, and they hate you for it. The other side of it always hates you for it. When they decide, you know, like if you know that they're wrong and they've been doing something. Jack Small, thanks for the 5. The only value of Ron is paint chips could add is intimidation. Indeed. That is exactly why they bring someone on like that. They obviously don't know his history or the evidence. I have no interest in their BS. Well, they brought him in for that, in my opinion. That's why he becomes interesting. And, you know, we only covered half of his background. We never even got to the crazy stuff. I didn't tell you about the lady that said that one of the co-conspirators came in and said that there was a pew in the old in one of the old desks, and that could be facing that and much more. Never got into those. Like, you got real crazy. Weezy Wills, Thanks for the fun. I've got my new wheelchair today. Let's see how long before I crash it. LOL. I hope it lasts a while there. I really do. I hope you enjoy a new one too, you know, like it's new, and I hope it's, I don't know. I hope you get some like bells and whistles with a new one. I hope it's like cool, you know, where you can add something cool to it. I deck that thing out. I have it. I mean this too. This would really be, I would do something like this. I'd have spinners on my wheelchair. Like when I'm going out, I would. I'd deck that sucker out. It'd be awesome. I imagine you now with spinners on it, you know, like like those hydraulic freaking lift cars. I can see you with spinners. And I'm always going to imagine you having a chair with spinners. That's awesome. Emma, thanks for the fun. They've been here since depth. I don't always agree with everything, but love your take on stuff, sense of humor, and you make it crazy fun. Yeah, see, that's what we need to do. You don't have to agree ever, ever. I love it. I want you to be able to say that too, and that's awesome. And if you don't like something, like I said, you know, I don't want to pick on John in anything when I say that. You know, I'm not singling him out and something. I'm just saying, like, he's a perfect example. Like he's vocal if he doesn't like something. It's been vocal when he likes stuff, and I like that both ways, you know. And if it were, if it's something that I want to change, it'd be good. If not, but we're allowed to communicate, and that's what I really like in that too. Let me see. I got a couple on the outside here as well. I want to make sure I get everybody. Ooh. We got a package coming today. Ooh, that's awesome. Thank you for that. By the way, I saw your email in that. I love those. I love the weird packages. SC. Cheryl, thank you for the 10 there that you sent. Thank you, Tuck. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. You've been doing that. That's awesome. Like I said, I appreciate that. Hey, I see FM sent 50 over. Support for you as you see fit. Whatever, medical bills, candy for Tuglets, or as needed. They love the channel. Well, I appreciate that, you know. I'll use it for something. I'm sure I don't know what exactly, but I'll throw it into something. And I think that's everybody. So, well, I appreciate you all. I didn't expect to talk about why, like the why with the channel or anything or cover, but I thought that was a good discussion today too. Actually, yeah, I think John like got us on an interesting conversation on the why for coverage. You know, if there's not if this were coverage just to cover or you know with drama ease, I could see you know whatever there, but I do think that it has a bigger purpose. I really do, and I hope at the end of the day, when more cases are won, I want to see a world where false accusers and these horrible people, I'd like to see a world where they're actually held accountable. So the rest of us, you know, we can go about our lives. And ultimately, so that real victims can have their day, whether that's a false accusation about someone essaying, which we're seeing in other cases, whether that's other life-destructive ones, whatever. I hope that we get to the point where we can change things like that. So I'm going to redirect you over to Flashcast tonight. If I'm going to put this in there again, if you offend, they will offend you. So don't come telling me that you got offended by something, you know, because they will offend you. If you offend, just don't. You know, you will get offended. But if you want to have fun, you can have fun. There's a lot of good and again, like Yellow Flash has been a friend of mine on and off this stuff when I've had problems. It's been somebody who stood with me, you know, stood with me when I had less than 1,000 subscribers and stood with me when I've had over 300,000 subscribers and even now. So I've been there. That's how you value stuff, you know, and if I can get over there tonight, I will. If not, I'll have fun with it. But I appreciate you folks, and I'm going to jump. Wait, I missed one. I missed one there, actually. Kelly said, thanks for the 2. Hope the bad weather is missing you. Yeah, we've had the wind is really bad out here. but we've been lucky about some of the other stuff. So, but anyway, I'm going to call it here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.